Hey everyone, welcome to the first week of spring in the garden.
It is a beautiful day here in Charlotte, and we thought it was the perfect time to give you guys an update on the 3 red buds we planted with Bloomables last year and show off some of their blooms.
And thank you to Bloomables for sponsoring this video. We love Bloomables. As you guys know, we share a ton of our Bloomables plants with you guys all the time. We have so many of their gorgeous roses in the garden, and I'm sure we'll give you an update on those much later. But today's video is all about these red buds.
So we made a point last year to add red buds to our garden because early spring we really want to have some trees that are flowering.
Yep.
And purple, of course, is one of our favorite colors, and so why not add some red buds?
Yes, there are so many different kinds of red buds. Honestly, just as far as color is concerned, you can get some different arrays of colors. There are chartreuse red buds, there are deep red buds, there are just your normal red buds, there are variegated red buds. And then that's just the color. So as far as the growth habit, there are weeping red buds, there are ones that are shorter, and so you can sort of put them in a container. And we just love red buds, especially here in the South, but red buds are native to North America, and they are just one of the best trees to have in the garden. And I'm glad that we have 3 of our own.
Red buds can be identified by their heart-shaped leaves. So you might even see some growing on the side of the road or in the woods behind your house. And that's just because they are super easy to grow. Even the native varieties will just kind of seed themselves around. And Brian's mom has a few in her garden that just kind of seeded themselves there, and she let them go, and now they're big, beautiful specimens. But of course, we have some very select varieties in our garden because we have 3 specific uses actually for them.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about the red bud that we're standing next to here? This is a Carolina Sweetheart red bud. It, of course, has the beautiful purple blooms that red buds are known for in the early spring. And as it matures, the tree will just be covered with these blooms for a few weeks early on in the spring. And then once those are done, the leaves will start to emerge, and you'll get 3 colors of leaves. You'll get the dark red, you'll get some pink, and even some white on the new growth. Now, Carolina Sweethearts don't always have that tricolor in their early stages of growing, so it might take us a couple years before we get there, but we're super excited for that color variation to come here in a few years.
And we selected this one for this spot because if you guys are familiar with this area, this is the peninsula. And we used to have 2 giant shade trees here. And so when we had to take those out last year, we wanted to backfill with something that would eventually get big enough and the right shape, really, to shade this entire area and make it not only a beautiful specimen in our garden, but one that would provide some cooling and some shady to this area specifically.
And specifically, this one is not going to take over the space necessarily and get, 40 feet tall. I think this will stay around 20 feet tall, roughly 20 feet wide. Of course, we got a long time to go before we get there.
Yes.
But it will provide some nice shade over the years as it continues to grow. So our main goal today, after we show you our other red buds, is to stake this tree up a little bit. We planted this here in a spot where we had those old trees, and over the past year, the ground has kind of sunk as the organic matter underneath starts to break down. And so she's a little crooked. So we're gonna take the cane off of here that it came with from the nursery and show you guys how we like to stake up trees. But before we do that, let's take a look at our weeping red bud.
Okay, so the second planting application for our red buds is a weeping red bud. And this is Golden Falls red bud. And I have to say, of the 3 that we have in the garden, this one is the talk of the town. Everybody loves this tree.
It's super cool. So as it starts to emerge with its leaves, they will be a bright, bright chartreuse color. And we wanted to put it here in this little corner garden because it really offers a nice pop in the spring. Of course, we also get the beautiful purple blooms that everyone loves. And over time, this will just kind of fill out and get more and more broad. It might grow up a little bit more, but not so much. And we can kind of top it if we want to keep it at this height. The other thing that I wanted to point out about all red buds that you might notice is if you look at the trunk here, they grow in a zigzag pattern, and that's another key identifier for red buds. It's pretty interesting because as each bud emerges, it goes in the opposite direction, creating this natural zigzag pattern, which is pretty cool.
So cool.
One more thing we love about planting a weeping variety versus a shade variety is that we get to enjoy the beautiful leaves and the blooms of the redbud while still getting full sun down in front. So we plan to fill this up with summer annuals that enjoy sun, and we'll have this beautiful chartreuse background behind us.
It's also perfect for spring because you guys can see we planted these creeping phlox in front of it. And like Tyler said, they'll just stay right there. The tree won't really provide any shade, so they get all the sun they need to bloom their heads off in the spring.
So let's take a look at our third planting application for Redbuds.
Okay, so our third planting application for Redbud is in a container. This is Garden Gem's Amethyst Redbud.
Now this Redbud, as you can see, is a little bit later than the other two. It actually has not even started flowering yet. There are buds all over it. So here in a couple weeks, I'm sure we will be enjoying some beautiful purple blooms. But once it finishes blooming, it will leaf out with a beautiful dark red leaf that we know and love from a lot of our red buds. And we chose this because we wanted something here on the deck in a container. And we got a lot of people confused when we put this in a container online, but this is a very small tree. I think if we were to let this grow full size, it's only gonna get about 8 by 8. So if we ever do decide to put this out in the landscape somewhere, it'll be pretty easy to tuck this in somewhere. But if we want to keep it here on the deck, we've got it hooked up to drip irrigation in the container, and we can even trim it up a little bit around the edges if it gets a little bit unruly. But we love having this here on the deck because it just adds some interest. And in the evening too, we do get a little bit of shade cover from it, believe it or not.
Yeah, one of the things that I really love about Garden Gem's Amethyst is it's got that red sort of green hue to it. And the shape of the canopy, it sort of gets taller. As you can see, it sort of grows with that sort of like traditional tree shape. So the canopy starts a little bit lower and goes tall, but it's really rounded in its habit. And it's just been such a beautiful specimen in this container.
All right, so now that we've given you a tour of all of our red buds we planted last year, I think it's time that we go and tackle staking up the Carolina Sweetheart.
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got all of our supplies to stake up our red bud here. Step one is actually going to be cutting the cane out of the tree. And this is the cane that it came with from the nursery. So this is not something that we staked it up with. Of course, we tried to plant it level last year and the ground had other ideas for us.
Yes.
So we're going to cut the tape off with scissors, but then we're actually going to cut the cane off just at the ground level. We're just concerned about trying to pull the cane up out might damage the tree or hurt the roots. So we're not going to risk it, but this part should be super easy.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to hold these?
Yep.
I will cut the tape, which this is just the little like gardening tape. So it should be simple. It's not too thick.
It's also windy today, so I feel like this is going to be a true test once we're finished.
We also might knock off some blooms along the way, but that's okay. We've enjoyed them for a few weeks now.
They're just about done.
They're just about done.
Ooh.
All right. That's all the tape.
Okay.
Put that away.
There you go. Trade, Jim.
And then, so I'm going to use, these are actually like heavy duty wire cutters, and I've used them before to cut cane, and it's just very easy. So cane gets super like dried out, and it's really hard to cut with like your just normal garden shears. So I use this just to make it a little bit easier. And like Tyler said, I'm just going to cut this down at the ground so that we don't have to risk like, you know, breaking the tree or anything.
It feels already broken.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Oh, it fell apart.
And then
There you go.
pulled the rest of it out. So, wow, it's free, but still crooked, as you can see.
All right, so in order to stake the tree, we're gonna be using a kit from Ground Grabba, and we used this on the Palatka holly trees in our entryway when we first planted them, and they held up really well. There were quite a few storms that summer, and they didn't move an inch.
Yeah.
So we love using these because they have this little spiral drill bit, which is very similar to the auger that we use, or if you wanna think about like a giant screw. And we're just gonna use the drill here to screw this into the ground, and use this little hook, and then we've got some little clasps. What would you call this?
I don't know. I would call it, so this is actually going to help just to not damage the tree itself, so the tree trunk. So I don't, anything wide I think would work. I don't know what you would call that.
Okay, so I think we can go ahead and get started.
One thing I will say is that we got black rope for this, and when we've, in all of our like staking trees, if you do it with yellow rope, obviously you'll see it better for when you're, if like you have to walk around the tree. If you do it with white rope, it kind of disappears, but not so much. If you do it with black rope, it really disappears so that you cannot see it. Your eye just kind of looks right through it, and that's what we want because this is really the centerpiece of our garden. But we need to stake this tree so that it'll grow straight up for us in the future.
And we'll probably leave this this on the tree for about a year,
Yeah.
I think, and then we'll be safe to take it off.
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put this, it literally just fits the drill bit perfectly, and then just screw it right into the ground. I've hit something.
Yeah, I think you might want to go a little farther out.
Perfect. Oh, that's super secure.
All right.
I love that. All right.
And now we can do the other one.
Great. Okay, so second one, I literally just put the bit right through here, lock it in place, and then I'm gonna just drill it right into the ground. Just fits right in there, and then drill down into the ground. Oh, that's not going anywhere. I feel it's so nice because it feels really secure, right? It's so nice. Okay, so now the only thing we've got left to do is put our rope in and wrap that around the tree and get it perfectly centered.
Okay, so now that we have the hooks in the ground, we're gonna take our tree straps. I finally remembered what these are called. And we're gonna wrap these around a couple of crooks in the tree. So we're gonna do this first one here. And if you'll hold that.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna take my string and loop it through the hole. And then we're gonna take that down to the hook and we're gonna tie a knot, but we've got to get enough string here. So we want it tight, but we don't want it so tight that it's going to damage the tree. So we've got to be very careful here.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk around just to make sure it's straight on all sides.
Okay.
Looks good there. Now you might need me to hold it while you tie the knot. Yeah, I think it looks good.
Nice.
So I think this first one here is going to determine.
You're gonna have to go back because I let it out.
Okay.
So, but I feel like I need to have like a knot.
Why don't you go ahead and cut your? Oh, you're gonna tie it. Yeah.
Okay.
Pull it more. It's leaning forward still. Come on, pull. I think that looks good. Wait, before you move, let me come hold it. So this one, I think, is going to determine how straight we get.
Okay.
And then the other side is just going to determine, or it's going to hold it in place so it doesn't keep moving. Okay. And you're going to have to pull that really tight because I've got a lot of slack here.
See, that's just one knot. Yeah.
Does it feel tight?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a walk around and see what we think.
All right. Oof. If it loosens up over time, we can always retie it.
Still leaning forward a little bit.
And we've got the other one too, so we can pull it back with the other one if we need to. It looks really straight up and down.
Yeah, it actually looks really good.
Very pretty.
Okay, I think we're happy with this side, so we're gonna do the other side and then we'll be done. Okay, you wanna pull out your string here?
Yep.
And we probably should have done this side first, but that's okay. We can still finagle it up through here and it'll be fine. All right.
One side?
Yep. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna cut this one.
Do you want me to walk around?
Here. Go ahead.
Looks pretty good here.
Nice. Yeah. So you come hold it for me?
Yep. Got it. It's a shame you guys can't see Brian's knot tying skills.
They're terrible.
I think they're pretty good, honestly.
I need to go back to knot tying school.
Boy Scouts?
I didn't do that.
Me neither.
I was in karate.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's check our work. Looks pretty good to me, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so too. As long as it's straight up and down. This was our problem, this way. And it looks good. Okay, so since you couldn't see what I was doing on camera, this is the knot that I tied, and this is our hook. And all I did was wrap the rope around our hook a few times, and then I tied an initial knot, and then I went back around the rope and tied a knot so that we could actually tighten it backwards with that one. I did that 3 more times, and then I tied a little knot right here at the top just to hold it all together and to make sure that there's still tension on the rope. And with that, I think we're done.
And just like that, we don't have a crooked tree anymore.
Thank goodness.
That was way easier than I thought that it was gonna be.
Yes, and this is such a, like, the crown of our garden that it's not something we want to be even a little bit crooked. And so this system worked nicely, and now we've got all of these red buds to enjoy for the rest of the season. And I think we'll even enjoy the flowers for a few more weeks.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully this inspired you guys to add some red buds to your garden if you don't have them already. They are really great native tree species to have in your garden for springtime, for summer, and then of course you get the tree structure during the winter as well.
And be sure that you visit Bloomables online and check out all of the red buds and other trees that they have available.
Thanks so much to Bloomables for partnering with us on this project, and we have a lot more to come throughout the season. So make sure you click that subscribe button below so that you get all of our gardening fun. For now, from our garden to yours, we'll see you soon.
Bye guys.